And there he is, in all his glory, Nazim. Yes, that Nazim. You might be scratching your head right now. A secret weapon? This condescending resident of Whiterun? It sounds absurd, I know, but trust me, dive a little deeper. There's more to this seemingly insignificant character than meets the eye. He, like so many other non-playable characters in Skyrim, contribute to the immersive experience of the game in many ways that you might not immediately appreciate. Skyrim, right? Big world, dragons, prophecies, war, you know the deal. But today, we're looking at something you might usually run right past. The regular people. The NPCs. Shopkeepers, guards, farmers. They're not the main characters, but they make Skyrim feel real. They give the world life beyond your quests. Without them, Skyrim would be empty. Their routines and little bits of dialogue all add to the game's magic. We might not always focus on them, but they are key to what makes Skyrim, well, Skyrim. Seriously though, think about your time in Skyrim. You're doing all this stuff like fighting dragons and saving the world, but who are you actually talking to most of the time? It's these guys, and I'm here to say they're way more memorable than they probably should be. Remember your first steps in Whiterun? The gruff greeting of the guard, the dude in the bannered mare who's always got something to say, and even the slightly condescending tone of Belethor as he offered you to buy your everything. They were just the first threads in a web of countless interactions, a web that slowly began to feel familiar. Think about it like this. Skyrim is a vast, often chaotic world, and the fate of the land rests on your shoulders. But the towns, they kinda stay the same, and so do the people in them. So you keep going back to the same shops, the same taverns. You need potions? You're probably hitting up Arcadia again. You wanna hear some sass? Nazim's your guy. Got a ton of loot to sell? Belethor's always there, being Belethor. You see these people all the time. This routine, this constant re-encountering, isn't just a simple gameplay mechanic. It is how we build a sense of place, a sense of belonging to the digital world. These NPCs become landmarks of our mental map of Skyrim. It's like running into the same people in your own neighborhood. You might not be best buds, but you recognize them. You know their deal, and in a weird way, that makes you feel like a part of their world. Okay, let's be real. Skyrim's not perfect. Sometimes the NPCs do some seriously weird stuff, and sometimes what they say is just gold. Maybe you've seen a horse stuck in a guard, or heard something that's totally out of left field. And the voice acting? Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's memorable for other reasons.
Wait, I know you.
We've all heard it a million times, but sometimes the delivery is so over the top, it's hilarious. These goofy moments, they kind of make the NPCs more human in a messed up video game way. They break the illusion of a perfect program and reveal something flawed. And ironically, in these unscripted moments, a more memorable character is born. But it's not just the repetition and the funny stuff. Some of these NPCs have little bits of story, little hints that they have lives outside of when they meet you. A shopkeeper mentioning a lost loved one, a guard reminiscing about their past, a mage muttering about their research. These are not fully fleshed out stories, but they are seeds planted in our minds. You hear something like that, and your brain starts filling in the blanks. What happened to their family? What was the adventure the guard was talking about? These little details make them feel like they have a life beyond just selling you stuff or pointing you to the next quest. Yeah, you've seen them all in the game, their faces, their lives, their quirks. But the true icon status of a Skyrim NPC isn't born just from the game itself. It explodes outwards into the community. We, the players, have taken these NPCs and elevated them far beyond their programming routines. Think about it. How many memes have spawned by a single, repetitive line? I used to be an adventurer like you, then I took an arrow in the knee. That line, originally intended as a bit of flavor text to explain why guards aren't out adventuring. It's instantly recognizable, a shorthand for life changes, for unexpected setbacks. The guards who uttered it, despite having minimal impact on the main quest, have become culturally known because of that one line and our reaction to it. And then there's Nazim, the epitome of a character we love to hate. His smug arrogance, his constant harping about the Cloud District, a place most players spend little time in or care about. He's annoying, he's condescending, and yet he's iconic. Why? Because we, the players, decide he was. We turned him into a villain, a punchline, a character of our collective frustration. His simple, repetitive dialogue loop has inspired countless jokes, videos, and even elaborate in-game scenarios designed solely to shut him up. We didn't tolerate Nazim, we engaged with him, not as the game designers necessarily intended, but on our own terms. We take the raw materials the game provides, the voice lines, the character models, the basic behaviors, and we lay our own experiences, our own frustrations, and our own humor onto them. We create stories about their lives when we're not around. We share stories in forums and on social media about funny encounters and annoying habits. Modders create entirely new interactions or even redesign characters based on community feedback. We invest in these characters emotionally, even if that emotion is pure annoyance. Mods are a perfect example of this. Players don't just accept the NPCs as the way they are, they actively modify them. Want more varied conversation? There's a mod for that. Want NPCs to look more unique? There's countless appearance overhauls. Want to marry a specific NPC who wasn't originally an option? You can probably find a mod that allows that. This massive ongoing effort by the community to interact with, change, and enhance the NPCs is undeniably proof of how much they matter to us. They aren't just parts of simulation, they are characters we want to spend more time with, understand better, or simply mess with. So we've established that NPCs provide a sense of place, accidental comedy, hints of deeper lives, and are heavily embraced and amplified by the player community. But let's dig a little deeper into why those brief hints of something resonate so strongly. Skyrim at its core is the story about your Dragonborn. You're the chosen one, the hero destined to save the world. But the vast majority of the game isn't operating at that cosmic scale. The people in the towns and the cities are just living their lives. They're worried about making a living, about the Civil War, about their neighbors, maybe about that strange noise coming from their basement. The contrast between your world adventures and their constant everyday struggles is actually vital. It grounds the game. It makes the world feel larger than just your personal narrative. And when an NPC, in the middle of selling you a potion, mentions their sick child, or talks about a rough harvest, or sighs about a missing friend who joined the Legion, it's a tiny window into their other story that isn't about you. It's a reminder that this world existed long before you showed up, and will continue to exist in the future. These fragments of personal history or daily concerns acts like a narrative prompts for our brains. Because the game doesn't provide extensive backstories for most of these characters, our imaginations automatically start working overtime. Why is Nazim such a jerk? Is he insecure? Does he have a difficult past? What secrets is Bellator hiding in that messy shop? We became the co-authors of their stories. The game gives us the outline, and we fill the details based on their dialogue, their appearances, their routines, and our own experiences and projections. This act of creative interpretation is a powerful form of engagement. It makes the world feel richer, more complex, and more alive than if every character's story was fully explained and neatly contained within a quest log. It's the power of suggestion, and Skyrim uses it masterfully. So we've explored how Skyrim's NPCs become iconic, but why is this phenomenon so pronounced in Skyrim compared to other massive open world RPGs? Games like The Witcher 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, or even other Elder Scrolls titles also have detailed worlds and memorable characters. What makes Skyrim's ordinary inhabitants stand out in a specific way? Firstly, there's the sheer scale and longevity of the game's popularity. Millions of players have spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours in Skyrim over the past decade. That kind of prolonged exposure means that players have enough time to notice, interact with, and form opinions about the most minor characters. The repetition of their routines, which we discussed earlier, only increases their presence in our minds over these extended playtimes. Secondly, while many NPCs might seem simple, they're often strategically placed in crucial, frequently visited locations. You have to go to Bellator's shop, you have to walk through the market. You will encounter guards in every city. The core loop of adventuring, returning to the town to sell loot and resupply, inherently puts you in a repeated contract with the same set of characters. They are embedded in the very structure of the gameplay. Thirdly, there's a certain charm and occasional awkwardness of Skyrim's NPC interactions. While newer games might have more dynamic conversations or complex AI, Skyrim's more predictable, sometimes glitchy nature makes its characters more distinct. The "wait, I know you" moment. These imperfections create shared experiences and jokes within the player community that contributes significantly to the iconic status of the characters involved. Finally, compared to the earlier games in the series, Skyrim took a significant step forward in giving NPCs unique names, basic daily schedules, and a handful of personal dialogue lines. While they don't reach the complexity of main story quest, it's just enough depth to spark our interest and allow the community's imagination to do the rest. So there you have it. Nazim, the arrow in the knee guard, Bellator, even the lowest farmer or beggar. They aren't just static elements of the background. They're an essential part of the rich world of Skyrim. They provide the routine that makes a chaotic world feel grounded, the accidental comedy that creates shared moments of laughter, the hints of deeper lives that fuel our imagination, and most importantly, we the players have embraced them, memed them, modded them, and discussed them into legendary status within the gaming community. They might not wield dragon shouts or decide the fate of empires, but the ordinary, quirky, sometimes frustrating, often hilarious non-playable characters of Skyrim have undeniably achieved something remarkable. They have found their ways into our mind, becoming just as memorable in their own unique way as the dragons and the dungeons. They are truly more iconic than you might think. So next time you're rushing through Whiterun on your way to save the world, take a moment, look around you, listen to what the people are saying. You might find that the heart of Skyrim isn't just its quest, but instead, the people living within it.